Hey there, Chris here from Fastlane Academy, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to sell a website. Now, I interviewed several business brokers that specialize in selling websites for this video, and I uncovered a lot of hidden information about this process that I am going to share with you today. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So if you're considering selling your website, then the first thing that you have to evaluate is how profitable it is and how long it's been established so that you know what options you have. Now, let's start with unprofitable websites first. If your website isn't profitable yet, then you may or may not be able to sell it. Now, if you're getting a lot of organic traffic to it, then it can be attractive to certain buyers because they might know how to monetize that traffic and make money from it. So, there's no hard and fast number though to try to figure out a valuation because it really depends on your niche. For example, if your site is in the finance or business niche, then it's going to be worth a lot more than a website say in the cooking niche that gets the same amount of traffic because those website visitors are worth a lot more to them. Now, they also take into account how old the website is, how many links, backlinks it has, and a few other factors. And I've seen these types of websites selling from anywhere from a few $100s to even a few $1,000s, even though they weren't generating much in the way of net profits, depending on their niche. And if you have a website that's less than a year old with, very little traffic, but a lot of content on it, then those usually only yield a few $100s and they're called starter sites. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description below to a website broker that has a free valuation tool that you can use to get an idea of what your website's worth. Then you can decide from there if it makes sense for you to sell now or wait a little longer. And you don't really have to talk to anyone. It's a really cool tool. You just answer a few questions about your business and your website, and it will kind of give you an evaluation, an estimated evaluation. So you can get a pretty good idea of what it will sell for and if it'll sell. Now, let's move on to profitable websites. And what I found after interviewing all of these business brokers that specialize in selling websites is that each one of them has different minimum net profit requirements, and the lowest monthly net profit requirement that I could find was generally $2,000 per month, and the website has to be established and showing those monthly net profits for at least 1 year. Now, if you are not there yet, then you'll have to work on getting to that point to be able to sell it, or just keep it a little bit longer if you're already at that point. So keep that in mind before moving forward. Now, if you can show proof of those net profits for a longer period of time, that's even better and will give you a higher valuation, but that's the minimum, $2,000. Now, some brokers require anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a month in monthly net profits, but as long as you have at least $2,000 per month for at least a year or more, you can sell it. And the valuations can vary, once again, quite a bit depending on how long the website's been established, as well as what niche you're in and how much your actual monthly net profits are. There's no way to get an exact figure till you reach out to them and get a free valuation. However, one of them has a really cool online valuation tool where you can enter some details about your website, and it's going to give you an instant estimated valuation. So you at least have a general idea of what it's worth, and then you can decide if it's something that you want to move forward with. You don't have to talk to anyone. It's just an online tool that'll give you an idea. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can do that if you have a profitable website making at least $2,000 per month for a minimum of 1 year. And another very interesting thing that I discovered during these interviews was that over the last year, there has been a huge surge in demand for websites, and they typically have higher valuations than any other business. Buyers really like the passive income that websites generate, and they are willing to pay a lot more for them. So right now, it is a seller's market, and valuations are at an all-time high. In the past, what they said were websites were typically valued around 2 to 3 times net earnings, but I'm seeing valuations for websites on their site right now at 3 to 4 times annual net earnings, and sometimes even higher than that. And they weren't sure how long this was going to continue, so keep in mind that your website is probably worth more now than it has ever been. So it's probably a good idea to at least find out how much yours is worth and decide if it's the right time for you to sell and take advantage of this temporary buying frenzy that's going on. So keep in mind that when determining your net profits, the one thing that you do want to consider is what they call owner add backs. A lot of people make this mistake, and basically this just means if you're writing off personal expenses such as cell phones, home office, or anything that's personal to you, even though it may be a legitimate tax write-off, those usually get added back into the net profit figure. So for example, let's say you had $50,000 in net profits showing on your reports and your tax returns, but you had $25,000 in personal expenses that you wrote off, then that's actually $75,000 in net profit. So that's what you want to factor in. And another figure to factor in is broker fees. Almost all of them charge a fee of around 15% of the sale price. However, the fees do drop to around 10 to 12% or less if the sale price is over $1 million. Now, another factor that can affect the valuation is owner involvement, or basically how many hours per week you have to work on your website. Obviously, the lower the owner involvement is, the higher the valuation is going to be. So hey, at this point, if you are getting value from this video, please hit that like button below, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment if you have any questions or comments. That really helps us out and allows us to keep putting out valuable content like this. So finally, if you want to use that free valuation tool to find out how much your business is worth, I'm going to leave that link in the description below so you can check that out. Or if you are already ready to talk to a business broker about selling your website, then we have set up a page also where you can take a couple of minutes to enter some information about your website. And what we do is we'll evaluate that information and forward you to the best business broker for you, depending on what their requirements are, and have them reach out to you to talk more about getting it sold. I will leave a link in the description below to that as well. So hey, that's it for this video on how to sell your website. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.